Welcome to Helping Hands with your hosts, John Neiman and Judy Ritchie.
Hello and welcome to Helping Hands. This is our opportunity to let you and the community know how you can lend a helping hand to a program or an organization in need. I'm Judy Ritchie with Oshkosh Family Meals on Wheels.
And I'm John Neiman with Aurora Medical Center, and welcome to our August edition of Helping Hands. We'd like to begin by thanking our financial sponsor who makes this program possible, and that is Aurora Healthcare, and also our set design, which is Harnick's Floral on 9th. If you haven't gone by yet, you have to go by Harnick's and see the beautiful planters they have outside. They're gorgeous and they're huge and they do wonderful things, so stop by Harnick's also. They do wonderful things with set design. Where can you see us and where can you hear us? Our crew is always on the ball. I'm old, so I don't want to look at my sheets, and they put it right on the screen. You can hear us on the radio at 101.9 FM. You can see us on Charter 984. You can watch us on CATV2, and also go to the OCM Oshkosh Community Media website. Lots of useful information. You can see when our show is playing. It airs 5 out of the 7 days of the week, so lots of great exposure for volunteer groups, volunteer events, and volunteers in our wonderful community called Oshkosh, which is Event City. This summer has flown on by with all the events that are going on, and it's only August, and we have lots more events to see. Our guest today, would you like to introduce her, Judy?
I
She's
will.
a familiar face to our audience at Oshkosh.
She is. I worked with her just a few years ago when she was at ARC.
Yeah.
And beyond that, she's been in a lot of other areas.
When she was a youngster, because
Yes,
that's where
she
you
was.
started.
Brand new.
She was a child.
Brand new.
And she, no matter where she goes, she really produces results. And people are drawn to her with her passion for what she's doing. This is Lynn Kleeman, and she's with the Mercy Health Foundation. So
What did you
welcome.
give Judy?
I don't know.
That
I'll give it to
introduction
everyone.
was the
That was
best one
wonderful.
I've ever,
Thank
ever
you.
heard.
My goodness.
And it's all
I
true because
don't
Lynn is
know.
a community volunteer, and she's a big volunteer for Lourdes also, especially
Yes.
with her kids.
Right.
Your other child is out now,
They're
right?
both out, yeah.
They're both out.
But we're lifers there, so always a night.
Well, welcome aboard here. We're talking about Mercy and all the wonderful things that your foundation does in our community.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Well, explain a little bit about the foundation, the purpose of it. I mean, people think you're always asking for money.
Right.
And yet you are.
We are.
But you're also putting it back out to benefit so many people.
Right. The purpose of the Mercy Health Foundation is we are actually the philanthropic arm of Affinity Health System Southern Region, which would be Mercy Medical Center and the clinics here in the Oshkosh and surrounding areas, the Affinity Medical Group clinics. So our main purpose, our reason for being, is to raise dollars that are necessary for extra programming, enhancements of equipment. Everyone knows healthcare is an ever-evolving, rapidly changing business, and every year capital dollars get a little tighter. So the foundation's role is to work with leadership of the hospitals and clinics, distinguish what are the needs that are going to be that year, and then help to raise additional funding so we can be able to enhance our patient care at all times.
Now on the screen, Lynn, for our audience and then for our radio audience is a number 223-0520. Is that your number? Or
Yes, that's our foundation number. But Our Best Care, Your Best Life is our new campaign. We kicked that off earlier this spring, and it's a 3-year initiative, and we've got several projects that are within that campaign that we'll be raising additional money for to help the hospital and the clinics.
So when you say the raising the money, it's not always just looking for the money soliciting outside of the hospital system itself.
No.
There's a lot that's done within.
Lot that is done within. Our associates within the hospital are a major contributor to the efforts of the foundation, and we also write grants and do things like that. But we work significantly with those that are inside to help identify different projects that are going to be helpful to the organization, and that's what we start working on.
And your caregivers are your best spokesmen for your
Yes.
programs.
They're our
and for
greatest
what you have.
ambassadors, and they know where the needs are. They're on, as I always say, they're on the front line. So we engage them in conversation all the time, because without it, we could go out with all these great ideas, but if it's not something that fits into what we're doing as an organization, it really doesn't matter. So our caregivers are our bread and butter.
And I do have to say that maybe the Mercy bosses are listening to this program now, but your experience at the other two hospitals that you were at in the foundation really helped. That Mercy is getting a lot of wealth and experience because they also had different programs there, and you learned
Right.
as you went, and now you're at a place where you really do make a difference in
I've been
what's
very
going on.
privileged in my career. I've had a variety of different opportunities, and really became active in healthcare philanthropy 10 years ago, 11 years ago already, and have had experiences with big, large systems, had an opportunity to work at a small critical access hospital, and now here back home at Mercy. And each one of those opportunities helped me grow in not only knowledge, but just knowing why the importance of philanthropy is so important to healthcare today.
And one of the things that I think Mercy was very smart about is they hired local. So many times other places and other businesses will hire someone from outside who doesn't know the community and know what the feel is of the community. And to hire someone whose Oshkosh is their home, who grew up here, who supports everything, to get that vast wealth of knowledge and experience and connections
It's helpful. And I always say I was raised in Menominee Falls, Wisconsin, but I grew up in Oshkosh. I came here as a student and never left. And we never left because we knew this was a great place to call home. And literally my entire adult life has been here, and in the variety of experiences that we've had. And we know the potential Oshkosh has and is continuing to grow, and it's just a great place to be.
One of the things that I really like when I went on the website and the people that you're using as spokespersons for each of these various programs that you're funding, to see Pat Seibel, to see Joy Conrad, to see all these people that we know, they're people down the street.
Right, exactly.
That we run into in the grocery store or whatever. You're not using some paid spokesperson.
Nope. And they're all volunteering their time. They've all had experiences within that healthcare system that changed their lives, and are very willing to come back as volunteers within our organization, within our department of the foundation, and share their stories. And they're very personal stories, they're very personal situations, and they're not doing it to have people feel sorry for them, or they're doing it because they feel so passionate and they know the importance of being able to provide that kind of healthcare close to home. So they're helping us out. They're our volunteers.
Right.
And you're an active volunteer in our community also, so you know that the best volunteers are the volunteers who are vested in that organization.
Yes.
Because you can get volunteers that come and help out at special events and that, but if it's something you're passionate about, it's going to be a success. And I think that's why a lot of our organizations in our community are successful, because we have long-standing volunteers who are passionate about what you do, your message, what you deliver to the community. So
it truly amazes me, and it humbles us to know that people are willing to give their time and open their hearts and share their stories on behalf of service that was provided to them at the hospital or within the clinic, or they had a great experience, or a family member had a great experience. It's humbling that that they choose to do that with us.
Right. But the other piece to that, as John was talking, you yourself as the volunteer in the community, you're not just asking people to come in and do for you. You're out there doing for others. You're setting an example. You're leading by example. And to me, that's one of the most important facets that you have.
Well, it's fun. It's what we do.
and you are a good volunteer because you get your family involved, which really good volunteers.
In the early days, they didn't have a choice. Now
Yes.
they're making their own
Yeah.
choices, and it's that's great to see too. That we're all involved, and we all feel. Both our children chose UW Oshkosh, and both did because they really like the community. So it's they both also moved on campus, but it's just a great testimonial of all the different things we have here, and you can get very involved. You can be home, but you're also kind of paving your own path as well, and that's a great thing about Oshkosh.
So what's going on in the foundation now? We're in the month of August. What's going on or what's coming up for you that are big?
We've got, as I said, we kicked off our new campaign, Our Best Care, Your Best Life, earlier this spring, and some of the major projects that are part of that campaign, something we're very excited about is we are going to be creating or building a wig boutique, and it's going to be called the Oasis. But we found that there was definitely a need for cancer patients to have a place to go that they can take care of some of those personal things that they need to do that they want to do privately and one-on-one, not in a big group. So we'll be opening, we're just kicking off that campaign now, and that's where we'll have quite a need for volunteers, because we are looking to our professional cosmetologists and stylists out there in the community to help us with that. Palliative care is another part of our Best Care, Your Best Life campaign, and that's providing one-on-one care to patients who have a lifelong illness, a chronic disease. They need management for pain. They need some support services. It's not hospice. They're not to that point yet, but themselves, the patient, as well as their family, are in need of some additional support services to get through some of these times that they're going to be entering as this illness progresses. And volunteers are always needed for our palliative care program. They're similar to the hospice program, where they assist with with maybe shopping, maybe someone just gets released from the hospital and needs to have somebody help them with housework for a little while,
or respite care while somebody goes out grocery
exactly,
shopping, or going out to play bridge,
or to get their hair done or
Yes.
something. So just that person, that caring companion, which is also a part of our volunteer services department too. So those are two really big things that we can definitely will enhance patient care, but also offers a lot of opportunity for those community folks who want to come in and help. We can find jobs for them right there.
So you work closely then with volunteer services
Yes.
in the hospital then?
Our volunteer services department is integral to the foundation. We work very closely together. Actually, our volunteers raise money throughout the year, and then they in turn make a large gift to the foundation, so we can then help different programs and services within the hospital. And over the last 20 so years, it's been well over $1 million. So we're very blessed, and it's a great group of people to work with.
Definitely. And if you, on the screen right now is how to apply if you'd like to be a volunteer at Mercy Medical Center. They actually have their application online. So if you want to read, you're younger than I am, so if you want to read the screen.
It's the application can be found online at affinityhealth.org /volunteer, or you can call Volunteer Services at 223-0225, and they'll be able to direct you and walk you through the process.
And Vicki and Amy are always wonderful there to get the volunteers, because of the growing need that we, like you said, with budgets being cut and services not wanting to be cut, we use our volunteers in lots of different ways.
And
so.
they're right in, I mean, you can be right in the mix of all these things, or you can have a position that's kind of on the outskirts, but they're on the floors, they're in the waiting rooms, they're in the gift shop, they're transporting people. We have volunteers in our foundation office for office help, which is it's absolutely wonderful, event planning, so we've got lots of opportunity.
And if you want to know what the foundation is doing and what money they're giving out, just open up the Oshkosh Northwestern, because it will always say about the geranium sale, or about the grants that you give or the scholarships you give to students
Right.
to further their education. So Mercy's always been very active in our community, and they're blessed to have you on staff. We really appreciate that too.
Thank you.
Well, and as we're talking all of these things, you talked about the wig boutique, but some of the other programs that you're working with.
We actually have a really neat program that we started just close to a year ago now, called Reach Out and Read. And Reach Out and Read is done through our pediatrics department. And what it is the physician, the pediatrician actually writes a prescription for a book for our young children, starting at their healthy child visits from 6 months through 5 years. And then the child gets to pick out a book. And at Mercy, we're about 42 or 43% Medicaid population who utilizes our services. So a lot of times these are the only books these children receive.
And the parents haven't signed them up for the Dolly Parton Library either.
And that some have, and so some are getting some. And then those that live on the outskirts of town that necessarily aren't in the city limits of Oshkosh, they have access to this too. But it's something that our pediatricians have just latched onto, and school readiness is huge. Kids are starting school earlier and earlier, and some of them are not coming prepared. So statistics show and studies show that reading to a child, even looking through a book at pictures, helps to increase their want to learn more, to read more. So we are continually looking at, it's $1,200 for a month's worth of books, and so we continue to look for sponsorship for those books, and then the sponsor gets a nameplate inside that book. And actually now we're working on having some book drives and things, because the other siblings who come along want a book as well, and it's not necessarily their turn yet because it's not their child visit, but we want to be able to provide that opportunity for them. So we'll be collecting books and helping to fill our storeroom so all these kids can leave with something.
So you would be collecting gently used
Gently
books
used or
also?
new books, yes.
Okay.
There is that little thing called infection control in the hospital.
Oh, definitely. Oh my gosh.
So we always have to make sure that things are infection controlled. But yeah, and things that, and we felt that this might be a great thing for a high school group to latch onto, or a key club or something, because everybody likes books. But that Reach Out and Read is one that we're very excited about, and we've already seen families that are so appreciative of this. So we're excited to keep this one rolling.
And and talking about that, we talk about collaboration. So here's a chance for us to do a shout out to the Oshkosh Public Library,
Yes.
who provides the little green book bags to every newborn in our hospitals, and also to say we wish Dana Stoley well, because she just retired from the library as the volunteer
Lucky.
coordinator. Yeah, she gets to retire. But it's so nice to be able to have, when they donate those little green bags with the first books for the babies, and we give them to the parents. And again, that's collaboration, all of us
Right.
working together for that. And then you have the United Way with the Dolly
Parton.
Parton. And then you have all those little libraries opening up all over.
The little houses that
Yes.
the sisters
Yes.
started.
I just got the latest newsletter from Evergreen, and they're so proud because they have one that
Just
they
as you go-
built.
just
that
as
they
you go in
built
the main
there.
drive.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
so it's really cool.
The one at Franciscan Courts is right out in front there, and it's just,
Yeah, I went there to pick up rosaries, and I
Yes.
saw it sitting there, and I
Yes.
thought, very, very cool.
well, it's a statement of the community and the awareness of the importance of literacy. So I think
So
that's
we're
cool.
told that our time is winding down. What do you want to stress? What numbers do you want to give out here to our audience?
Volunteer services, the 223-0225 number, definitely give them a call. Our website, you can apply online, and it goes a lot quicker, so that's always a nice thing. But just to volunteer anywhere. It doesn't have to be at Mercy Medical Center, but the importance of volunteering and giving back to the community, once you do it once, and you're
Kinda
hooked.
grows on you.
It grows on you, and it's just something that is a testimonial to those that live here.
Well, one point that I think we need to bring up too, though, is volunteering in the hospital. There is the background check.
Oh yes, yeah.
and
There's
the TB test.
yeah,
and
there
all
are
the
a
flu shot
volunteer at the hospital goes through the same regimen as an employee
employee.
would. Definitely flu season time. We all have to get our flu shots. Things like that, but our volunteer services department works with everybody individually to make sure that you're comfortable in all those
Right.
steps. So yeah, there are some steps to follow, but once you get through them, it's smooth sailing.
Well, thank you, Lynn. We appreciate
you.
you being on and talking not only about Mercy Foundation, but also about volunteers, because as you said, the two work together. And also thanking your caregivers at Mercy who help support through all the drives, through the
Right.
money, through the capital campaigns, which will be starting soon, and partnership campaign and all
Yep.
of that
Oh, yeah,
stuff.
that's all coming up.
Definitely. So thank you very much.
Thank
and
you.
we
Thank
wish
you for having
the
me.
best for the rest of the summer, what's left of it.
It's going fast,
Yes.
but that's always good, nice too. So thank you.
Stay tuned, and we'll be back for our second segment of our August edition of Helping Hands.
If you have expired or unused medication, don't flush it, pour it down the drain, or toss it in the trash. Safely dispose of unwanted or expired medications at the drug drop box located inside the Oshkosh Police Department. It's convenient and anonymous, safe and secure, and it's open to everyone 24/7. Drop off your prescriptions, over-the-counter drugs, pet meds, and more. Keep drugs out of the reach of children and out of our water supply. Dispose of unwanted or expired medications at the drug drop box. For more information, visit the Oshkosh Police Department website at oshkoshpd.com.
Wisconsin is losing our World War II veterans. If you were a World War II veteran, or you know one who hasn't gone on an honor flight to D.C., please help us. The Wisconsin Broadcasters Association is partnering with all Wisconsin Honor Flight hubs to make sure every eligible vet remaining who served their country so selflessly gets the chance to go. It's time for them to see their memorial. It's time for their flight. To learn more or to make a donation, go to wisconsinhonorflight.org.
Hi there, welcome back to Helping Hands. I'm John Neiman with Aurora Medical Center.
And Judy Ritchie with Oshkosh Family Meals on Wheels. And gosh, John, August. Summer's almost gone.
Isn't it?
And it's almost back to school time.
I know, I hate
Scary thought.
I hate to mention that, but you're exactly right. And I had a couple things to talk about. We've got a lot to talk about, but UWO has always been a great partner with the not-for-profit agencies in our community. And so their Citizenship Day is September 3rd, so I wanted to do a shout out to them. They bring all of their resident life people out into the community.
Correct.
To different agencies. We've been supporting them for years, and they'll come to your agency, they'll work for free, and then they want to learn a little more about your agency to take it back to the people in the dorms and the professors and everyone else. So that is September 3rd. September 10th is our community blood drive at Aurora. I do have to bring good news. Our last blood drive, thank you, crew. Our last blood drive, we met our goal of 35. And they were celebrating and they were happy at the community blood center because of that reason. Even though people take a lot of vacations in the summer, they still showed up for this. So our next one, just to get it on your calendar, is Thursday, September 10th, 10 to 4, our first floor conference room. Take time to donate blood. It really does save lives.
Well, and now that we've covered that, we'll go back to the back to school. And there have been collections all summer for the back to school fair that benefits the kids from families that are kind of falling through the cracks, participate with Boys and Girls Club or some of the other programs. But then we've also got the Teacher's Closet over at Peace Lutheran Church, where the teachers of the district can access supplies. And a lot of times surplus office supplies, or those of us that don't have grandkids in the area still take advantage of the specials, and they can be dropped off over there. So a lot of good things that way. Mm-hmm. And then, as we talk about volunteering, we can volunteer in the school district. You can, anything from a foster, as you know, some of us 55 and up can be a foster grandparent, or you can be volunteering directly in the school, just like the younger parents do. So a lot of really good opportunities. And when we were talking with Lynn about the reading, that is so important. Having people come in, read to the kids, listen to the kids reading, and just having a good, comfortable time together.
And that is probably my number one request that I get. I get two number one requests at Aurora. I want to rock the babies. And we always say, well, I'm sorry, we'd love you to rock the babies, but they're with the mother most of the day. And they want to read to the babies and the children. And again, it is done sometimes if there's families in the waiting room with little kids. We'll call volunteers in to read to them. But those are two important things, and people love to do that, especially like you said, if your grandchildren aren't in our area anymore, people miss their grandchildren. Mm-hmm. And to come in and to be able to do that, think about doing it in our classrooms. Budget cuts and all of that, they're always looking for classroom helpers, and you can set your own schedule as a volunteer. You can say when you want to come in and what you want to do. So that's all great. I know the kids don't want to hear us talking about back to school, but we have to. You also talked about collection boxes. There's going to be more collection boxes as September and the fall goes for other things like help for the homeless and that. So, and as you always say, how hard is it if you're a clipper of coupons to buy one, get one free, or get something on sale, or clean out your cupboards? You know, I know my wife just cleaned out our cupboards and got rid of a lot of stuff and donated them to the food pantry. So there's always ways of supporting.
As long as they're current dates yet, not all the dented and rusted.
Yeah, so.
But there are so many organizations that as you're going through your home, or me living with a lot of seniors, as they're downsizing and what they can't take with them and how it can be used. Household goods in good condition. World Relief loves that for the families that are coming here for resettlement. And Habitat for Humanity, a lot of the building supplies and tools and things. There are so many opportunities out there.
Yeah, if you haven't had a chance to go to Habitat for Humanity Restore on Kohler, it is shopping at its best. There's tons of things there, from the actual hardware to decorative things, giving you ideas on projects to do, all of that as we wind up for back to school and as we wind up for our kids going off to dorms and all that, and looking for things. We also have, I got an email from our friend Renee at the Christine Ann. I wanted to mention a couple things that she mentioned to put on your schedule. September is Pass the Purse Relay Fun on Saturday, September 26th. They're looking for volunteers to assist with that. In October, they have their wonderful Take Back the Night on October 7th. So if you're interested in any of those one-time volunteering events, give Renee a call at the Christine Ann Center.
Right. And the United Way campaign will be kicking off soon. And they have the Kia Soul car of volunteering in Good for Your Soul.
Which we saw at the 4th of
At the
July
4th of
parade.
July
that we
parade.
did. And also we have to say, I loved the route for the 4th of July parade this year. We were at Trinity. But the best thing about the route when we did it was all the candy we got. People were coming up to you and I and just giving us stuff.
But we know that John is always wanting candy. he needs some sweetening up.
Yeah, so that was nice. That was a good parade. We thank OCM for letting us co-host it again. It was a wonderful parade and just a chance to marvel at the freedoms and blessings we have.
Well, it was really nice to see the groups of volunteers that participated with the parade, that helped to put the parade on. It was nice to see how respectful people were of the front lawns, because it wasn't downtown with the wide sidewalks.
Right.
It was a residential neighborhood.
Yeah.
And how they honored the flag.
And we had fun in the sun. So
Yes, we did, and we didn't get burned.
yes. So our time is up here. We so appreciate you being with us for Helping Hands. We especially want to thank our sponsors, Aurora Healthcare and Harnix. And always stay tuned to our show. Check out OCM to see when we're on and when we're playing. I'm John Neiman with Aurora Medical Center.
And I'm Judy Ritchie with Oshkosh Family Meals on Wheels. Thank you for joining us.